Hello, my name is Abigail Richardson Schulte, and I am composer in residence for the HPO. Now, we are so pleased to have great Canadian actor R.H. Thomson join us for this concert. It's so great to have you here.
Thanks, Abigail.
Yeah. Now, how is it working with orchestra? So, I mean, you have just a huge amount of experience, of course, in stage and film and TV, but here you are following a conductor.
I listen to a lot of orchestral music, at home or whatever, but you step on a stage with, 60? How many musicians are there? The size of the sound it's like the ocean. It's really, and I've done a lot of work with Tafelmusik, but that's either 12 or 14 or 20 musicians. But then suddenly this full kind of acreage of incredible talent, it's intimidating. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful to hear.
Now, you're performing a work of mine, which I'm very grateful to you for agreeing to do. But this is, it's broken down into cues, of course, and every cue has to be assigned by the conductor. So how is that working in such a strict environment?
You, of course, try to listen to what the composer was intending, what the composer is signaling. And so a lot of your score very lovely in great ways kind of shows the transmission through music. The terror is that if we get out of sequence, if we miss like one cue and we get one cue behind, we won't know that we're one cue behind until we get way down. So that's the terror of it. So it's a bit of a bull ring, but that's live performance. I mean, we live for live performance. I mean, put it on tape. Tape's great, but it's so safe. Mm-hmm. Whereas in front of the house with real musicians, a wonderful conductor. No.
There's some adrenaline there then.
That's the best. That's the best.
And how is it working with Mara Sweeney, our child actor?
I don't know how old Mara is, but you work with someone like that and it's totally intimidating because you go, how much you have so much talent and you're 14 or you're 12 or whatever you are. Right, I've worked for decades and look at it's honest, it's spontaneous, it's felt, it's like, what have I spent all these decades as an actor for when she can do it at her age? No, she's wonderful. And you can tell when she really listens because she started to really listen to you as opposed to, oh, my eyes are open and here comes my next cue. Her eyes have stopped doing that. They're actually starting to listen to what is being said, and that's the beginning of the magic of the relationship.
Right, yeah, and I think she's made the transition to working with the orchestra and you quite well. I know she's been practicing at home with her mom, but yeah, just the change to working with so much sound and trying to play off you is certainly a big job.
A young person who's ever intimidated by things in her life, but she sure doesn't seem intimidated here. I mean, if I was her at that age, I'd be quaking in my socks.
Yeah. Well, she knows it inside and out. She's had it memorized for about a month now, I think.
Okay.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned you've worked a little bit with Tafelmusik. Have you done many other musical projects?
I did some with the Calgary Philharmonic but mainly with Tafelmusik, 2 or 3 programs that we then toured, usually Alison Mackay's program, though I did a program about a life. We decided to do a musical program. Everybody remembers Bach, everybody remembers the great composers, nobody remembers the second oboist. So we said, what happens if we actually tell the story? And we found a real second oboist in Handel's orchestra. We only found the name, but we knew he was in Handel's orchestra. So we knew he must have subbed around doing other little jobs. He was down in Wexford doing a dance. And we tried to tell the music as he sat there. And all these, different Italian conductors or violinists came, and the view from the second oboist, who no one ever remembers. And that was it was a delightful look into Baroque London from the oboist's point of view, as opposed to the big figures, the Handels and all the rest of it. Mm-hmm. So Tafelmusik and Jean Lamont sadly died, and that's been really hard. Mm-hmm. That's hard. She was a major force. Yeah. Anyway.
I just worked with them a few weeks ago. I have a new piece coming out with Alexis Diamond with this same librettist for Making Light. So we've written another piece for them about climate change.
Fantastic. Yes. And when's it on the program?
It is coming out Family Day weekend. So
Perfect.
that'll be fun. Now, in terms of orchestra too, I know you from your work at The World Remembers, and you remember you commissioned that first piece for me for the National Arts Centre Orchestra. So I appreciate all you've done for the musical world as well. Just it's nice, I think, for our audience members to know how diverse you are and such a great contributor to the
I
scene
die
in general.
without music.
Yeah.
I don't think I could live. You know the old conundrum, would you rather lose your sight or your hearing? I would lose my sight. I don't think I could live in a world where you couldn't hear music. I don't think I could stay sane. So you're my savior.
We might just quote you on that. Now, last question for you. Do you have a role that you loved? One of your great roles. Can you tell us about that?
Theater, TV, film.
How about one of each?
I've been very, very lucky. I play the margins. You know, I don't go for the Marvel comic stuff. I kind of tried mainstream Hollywood, and yeah, I was down there for a number of months, and I got a bit of work, and then I left. I thought, no, I don't. That industry is not for me. There's some remarkable talents down there you want to work with, but the bulk is the industry, and I thought I would not be fit to live with if I lived there. So I came back, and so I work. I'll work in Germany, or work here, or work anywhere, but I try to find really interesting stories. Film, I'm very lucky. I did a wonderful film called The Quarrel, which is from a Heimgarten story about two survivors of the Holocaust who meet in a park in Paris 2 years afterwards, and they can't believe each other's alive, and 90 seconds later they're arguing. And the film is the argument. And it's this classic argument between the very secular Jew, who's the poet, and the very rabbinical Jew. So that's one of my favorite films. Stage plays, No Great Mischief, maybe. It's from an Alistair MacLeod book that the Tarragon did, and we played around. It's Canadian. It has a deep heart in it that you're never told, here's the heart of the story. You start understanding that you are actually traveling on this heart of longing for family and return and all the rest of it. So, but I've been very lucky. So I don't choose favorites, but I've been really lucky.
And how about TV?
TV is a harder game because TV is an industry.
Well, you had a lot of success in Anne with an E.
Got an income for a while. Well, that's interesting. I'm doing a little Christmas Carol reading. We have 3 wonderful musicians, and we go play North Bay, we play Chatham, and we played Oakville the other night. And it was nice, a very nice theater, and we had like 140 people, and that was lovely. And I was coming on stage afterwards, and I was cleaning up, the cedar boughs that we put around. And this young woman came down and said, "Can I take a picture with you?" And I said, "Sure, absolutely." And then she said, "We love you in Turkey." I said, "Excuse me?" She said, "No, I'm Turkish. My whole family in Turkey watches you and loves you," and wrote on Anne with an E.
This is on Netflix, so it's
It's on
accessible,
Netflix.
right? Yeah.
"We love you in Turkey," she said. And
Isn't that amazing?
it's really different when that
Far-reaching.
happens. Yeah. Mind you, I would have been speaking Turkish in that, which I don't. So
No. Well, thank you so much for being with us. It is just fabulous to have you on stage, and personally, thank you for doing my piece. I really appreciate it.
I'm honored. Okay, till tonight.
Yes.